Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. Hope you're well. I just tried to record this, by the way, on landscape on a mobile phone. Anyone that does recordings knows how difficult that is because you actually have to look at totally the different part of the camera to what you think you should be looking at. I can't do it, guys. It was actually distracting me from the message. And the most important thing is the message, hopefully, rather than what this looks like. It's a Saturday morning. I just need to get this down and uploaded as soon as possible. So apologies to the critics that don't like it done this way. It's this or nothing, guys, okay? And I know most people appreciate it anyway. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, lots of comments coming in about, can you read on the truckers? Can I just say at this outset that please make sure you are actually subscribed to my YouTube channel. You might think you are, but a lot of people are being unsubscribed from it. Not by me, just by whatever. I don't know why it happens, but it just does. Because I'm redirecting people back to videos that I've already done. So yeah, I have already looked at the truckers 6 days ago. It was in the video on Ukraine. I expect if the Ukrainian situation blows up in February, people will be asking me to read on it. I have already read on it, okay? Anyway, I'm very happy to do an update today for you, and I'm just going to go straight into it in terms of what I'm picking up, some of which is pretty interesting, okay? So, right, where shall we start, guys? Where shall we start? I think we'll start actually with this card that I showed you in the last video, and this is the Seven of Fire. And I said to you that I thought it looked very much like Justin Trudeau. I really think it does. And it kept coming back to me, the energy of this card. And I thought I'll go back to the book and I'll just have a little look at what the author wrote about this particular card, because it felt like it was something I was missing. It's only a short little message that goes with this card, but it says this. And then I'll pull fresh cards, okay? It says, a man stands in front of a post around which a great fire burns. He does not appear to be bound to the column and might be able to remove himself from the blaze should he so choose. Well, he has. He's isolated himself for 5 days, if you don't know. It says, this card represents challenging situations encountered in maintaining one's position. It also points out the necessity to respond with courage and confront one's fears. There's a fear here, actually, of confronting the people. I really feel that. And then it says it's about taking a stand. Fears must be faced and conquered, seizing the advantage, and convictions and principles to be defended. So it's quite extraordinary that I pulled that card days before Justin declared he'd been in contact with somebody who had it. Even though he hasn't got it, he's having to isolate for 5 days. Have you worked out, guys, where 5 days takes us to? I mean, this is like a long game that needs to be played here. And I can't help but smile because 5 days takes us to the 2nd of February. It takes us to 02/02 2022. It takes us to Imbolc. Imbolc is an ancient Celtic festival associated with the goddess Bridget, celebrating the beginning of spring, and it brings in the unexpected. It brings in new life. My guidance to anybody that is wanting to peacefully protest is I would hang out there until the 5th. I actually think this isn't about today. This is about the period between now and the 2nd of February. Even if most people are gone by the 2nd, I still feel there's some that are still there, that remain, or certainly the energy is still there and remains. In between this period of the 29th today and the 2nd, we've also got an Aquarian new moon on the 1st of February. Which is square Uranus. Uranus is about the complete unexpected that you cannot see. Something coming in out of the blue that you cannot see. Expect the unexpected. It's also a new moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is about the people, very linked into the energy of, I want to say, evolution, not revolution. And one of you today on, I think it was Instagram, you wrote a little comment and you said something along the lines of, because we can feel at one level, certainly there is a risk of violence, okay? And I wouldn't put it past the powers that were to have put some troublemakers into that group that's going to assemble, because then they can tar everybody else with that brush, okay? Let's hope that doesn't happen, but it's certainly a possibility. But the point is that by doing that, I just don't think it's going to work. This was the comment that came in. Somebody said, remember when the Berlin Wall came down? I do remember when the Berlin Wall came down. I remember watching it live. I don't remember all the build up to it over the previous days, but I'm sure there was a threat of impending violence or confrontation. You know, the military, the police, law and order would hold out against the crowds that were there demanding change. When it came to it, there was no bloodshed. There was no bloodshed. There was just this moment where literally the walls came tumbling down and the people were the ones that actually took bits of the wall away. But it was also energetic. And it reminded me of something from Tesla, Nikola Tesla. And one of the things that Tesla, one of the hypotheses, but it wasn't just a hypothesis, he proved it. One of the things he talked about was the fact that everything holds a vibration. Everything holds a particular frequency and a vibration. And if you are able to exactly match that frequency and vibration, you can bring the walls tumbling down. You can actually bring buildings down just by vibration, okay? And it took me to previous times in our history, and I'm thinking particularly Woodstock. I wasn't there at Woodstock. I was born 67, summer of love, but I feel it's in my blood. I've said that before. But this power of the people, when it is loving, okay, when it is loving and it's heart-based, that can change the world in very unexpected ways. And equally, it's not necessarily about a particular moment. It's about ripples that are birthed, that create new worlds. I'm hearing the word tributaries. So it's like rivers and tributaries that find a much bigger ocean. That bigger ocean is the energy of the new earth and change. Because the thing is, I'm going to pull some cards on the truckers, but really this isn't about the truckers. It's about much more than this. It's about standing up for the energy of freedom and free choice. And because I was thinking Woodstock today, I was, I suppose, thinking about that Joni Mitchell song, you know, we are stardust, we are whatever it is, you know, we are come into the garden. I've done videos on Joni referencing that song before. And a kid knew not, just as I was about to record this, my phone flashed up with a breaking news story, and it was about Joni Mitchell. And I don't want to get into shaming Joni Mitchell. She's entitled to have her view. Everyone is entitled to have their views. It's just very ironic that in the moment I'm about to talk about the power of the people to bring about change, I don't know if you've heard, but Joni Mitchell has joined Neil Young, and they say that they're going to take their music off Spotify because they don't find the views of certain people on Spotify acceptable. It's back to what Justin Trudeau was saying, people with unacceptable views. If you have an unacceptable view, I don't want to be on the same platform as you. How far removed from unity consciousness can we get than that? Because ultimately, when peace comes and unity comes, it comes when you sit down with your enemy, okay? And I'm not defending any of the people. I think, you know, I've never even, is it Josh Rogan? I've never even watched any, Joe Rogan, I don't even know what his name is. I've never watched any of his stuff. I don't need to. He's there, she's here. It's just like, no, I remove myself completely from the vicinity. It's a very, very dangerous energy, that, very dangerous. It leads to just increasing separation, division, and entrenchment. And both camps then just get even more inflamed. The middle way is where we have to be. We have to sit with people we don't necessarily agree with. So Justin Trudeau taking himself off for 5 days doing whatever he's doing, he's not doing himself any favours there. You have to sit with people who might have views that you don't like, but you need to listen and understand. You know, I'm shown the energy. It's a completely different example, but Northern Ireland. Peace only came to Northern Ireland when people of very opposing positions sat around the same table. So anyway, that's just something about, you know, flower power and power of the people. But equally, the Tesla thing really comes back to me, that this is a moment in our world, but it's only one of many moments through 2022 where the power of the people are present in a particular moment. And if you can stay in your heart, you can stay in your heart in a unity consciousness, unexpected, extraordinary evolution can happen. But it doesn't come via sowing more division and more separation. Very, very interesting stuff. Very interesting. Okay, before I pull some cards, I'd like to say a few other things that have come to me about all of this. Also, we have to have in our mindset flexibility that I've been talking about for a long time. But I think when you seek change, you have to believe it's possible. I know that sounds very glib, but it's true. I think sometimes you can see that it feels so much like a David and Goliath situation that it's never going to work. And you don't realise that you're carrying that within your psyche. But you have to believe that governments can change and yield to people power. Scratching my head and I'm trying to think of examples when it's happened. I mean, the standout moment for me in the UK was the poll tax. Go back to the 1980s, I think it was 1990s maybe, I can't even remember. But I've spoken about this before. We did have riots in London, but it wasn't just about violence. Nobody wants violence. Nobody condones violence. Violence is off the agenda. But, you know, the Iron Lady, Margaret Thatcher, it was the one time she had to yield. It was to do with the power of the people. So remember that governments can change and will. That's important. The other thing that I think is very interesting at the moment that's going on is this thing about the masculine template. This card from the Lemurian Star Child Oracle, I love, which is the new man. And I think I'd almost like us to have a conversation about who is this new man? I think many of us, maybe myself included, have been guilty we talk about New Earth and we talk about the rise of the divine feminine. And I do believe that that Empress type energy is the energy that's going to propel us forward into the new age. And it exists within both men and women and children and animals, every living thing really. But maybe we've missed something here. It's not about feminization of men. If you think about the truckers, again, it's a very stereotypical energy that a lot of people have about truckers. Again, in my country, the reference point is the old Yorkie advert, chocolate bar. You know, there he is in his cab. You know, he's big, he's macho, he didn't give a damn, but he's got his chunky chocolate. It's all very silly, really, you know. But there's something in it that we need to claim back, that it's okay to be masculine. You can have a pronounced divine feminine energy, but what is the masculine? I mean, I don't even really know myself. I'm just raising it for debate because it's as though society is pushing a certain type of masculinity to one side. And I think that's really wrong. It's like with women, we're told to get in touch with our femininity, get in touch with our goddess self, okay? You know, get in touch with that. But men, it's as though there's a part of them which is within their DNA. It's as though it's not okay to be that type of masculine. You know, I'm watching Merlin. There's something also in the template of King Arthur. I'm feeling it so strongly. King Arthur had his 12 knights. They sat around a circular table. They all saw each other as equal. They weren't threatened by each other. There's something within the template of masculinity in that King Arthur energy and in these truckers that I think is a seed of something that needs to be brought back. That could be a good video for another day. Just like your thoughts on that, really. Because it's like we've stereotyped and we've put people into little brackets that you're this, you're that. To be masculine is this. To be the new masculine is this. Aren't we all just a conglomerate of everything that we've been, everything that we will be, and everything that we are? Something to ponder anyway. Okay, let's pull some cards now. I'm going to put the new man center stage. Yeah, because it's the father energy, isn't it? Look at him. He's the father. He's the strong father. He's the protector energy. He's the one that will stand up for you. You know, if you've been lucky enough to have a father in your life who stands up for you, you know what that feels like. Yeah, right. Let's pull some cards. Which deck to use? Which deck to use? I've got 2 tarot decks. I'm going to start with this deck, which is the Wild Unknown Tarot. Haven't used it for a long time. I know I keep saying that about lots of decks, but I really haven't. But this one wanted to come into play today. Something in the name, the Wild Unknown. Kim Cran's deck. The Wild Unknown Tarot. Right, I'm not even going to ask a question. I'm just going to say, Spirit, what would you like to say about this situation with the truckers, please? What is there to say with regards to this situation with the truckers in Canada? What is there to say? What message would you like to convey with regard to this situation in Canada? Straight away, I know that is Justin Trudeau. He's literally like the tortoise who's gone into his shell. I mean, I'm sorry to laugh, but it is. It's like, literally, his energy is like, is it all going to go away? If I hide away for 5 days, bless him, is it all going to go away? Mummy, sorry, I'm feeling this is the energy of the child. It's not the energy of the grown man. It's not the energy of this masculine that I was just linked into before, which is like the protector. This is the little boy running to mummy. I don't know whether he's got some mother issues, but that is what I'm feeling about him. He's literally like, Mum, I'm going to hide under the duvet. I'm going to go into my tortoise shell. I'm going to hibernate, you know, and hopefully it's all going to go away. That is definitely... Right, he's got the lights on. I mean, you see, it's the child energy, because you see, that's reminding me of, you know, when you're a child, not judging it, I was the same. And you have to leave a light on because you're scared of the dark. You're scared of the dark. You have to please leave a light on for me. I'm scared of the dark. He won't show it probably, but he's a bit freaked out by this. He's frightened by this. Has he got a history of hiding away when things get tough, or, you know, just disappearing? I mean, I have to say that our Prime Minister Boris is great at that as well. You know, he's very good at doing that. So it's an energy that is not just Trudeau, but I am reading on Trudeau. We've got what is that? The Ten of Pentacles. Money. Lots of money. Money just showing. Okay, I'm not actually asking questions now. So let me just see. What does Spirit want to say about this situation with the truckers? So we've got lots of money. We've got just in hiding. What message is there with regard to this situation? The Hanged Man. That came up. That comes up all the time at the moment. The Hanged Man, I think, is going to be a card for this year. You know, it's like being forced to look at a different, being forced to look at things in a different way, to change perspectives. And on the bottom of the pack, we've got Judgment. Yeah, this is a moment of reckoning. Whatever transpires, it's a moment of reckoning. And he is starting to maybe realise that what he wanted to call a fringe minority is actually not so fringe. And I think we have to remember at this point to not just listen to the loudmouths in the crowd. I can guarantee that the media will seek out those with the biggest mouths, you know, all of that, okay? They're not necessarily going to be representative of the larger convoy and the larger crowd. That's why it's so important to stay into your heart. It's very easy to, and I had somebody today on Instagram saying, oh yeah, but you know, there was these white racists that started this and, you know, that's not right. No one's defending that. You can't tar everybody with the same brush. This is the thing. When you get a big group of people like this convoy, you're going to have people in there who are from all different walks of life, lots of different beliefs, lots of different age groups, lots of different perspectives on all sorts of things, okay? We are all individuals and we're all unique, okay? A convoy, a caravan of love, it encapsulates many, many different types of people, okay? So it's going to be very easy just to go to a few in the crowd and pick those out that, oh God, did you know that they had this view? Or did you know that this was about blah, blah, blah? They will try and smear. There's no doubt about that. They will try and smear. But make no mistake about it. There's a judgment energy in the Hanged Man. Okay, let's have a fifth card. The Eight of Pentacles and the Moon. The Moon, that's the Aquarian new moon. Just lurking. Not telling me much at the moment because by its nature it's got that square to Uranus. Why have we got these money cards? Money, money, money. Lots of money here. There's a lot of money tied up in this protest. There's a lot of money being raised. I mean, I think they've raised something like, is it $5-6 million already? But it's also tied into money in the economy, money being tied up, things not going onto shelves that should be there. It could also be pharmaceutical money, you know, tied into all of this. Show me one more card, please. Why have we got these two money cards? The Son of Swords. There's truth coming out linked into money. Truth coming out linked into money. Coming in with an owl and a sword. Go one deeper, please. Go one deeper on the money. The Daughter of Pentacles and Death on the bottom of the deck. Daughter of Pentacles has got the, what's it called, a deer, which I always think is linked into a very feminine, gentle energy. They're very young energies here. Son of Swords and Daughter of Pentacles, youth. I think this is tied into the money that's been raised with this GoFundMe account. It's as though it's new money, it's fresh money. It's money that helps the cause, expose something, brings in this beautiful deer, which to me feels very tied into 02022022, 2nd of February, Imbolc, spring. I can see that sort of deer in my mind's eye, and it's like it's going through the cold wastelands of Canada, and it's got the rainbow over it. It's bringing something new in. I think this money is about this money that's come in. It's give me one more and I'll have 5 cards on money. Anything else to say on this money? Ace of Swords, yeah. And the Magician. It means business. This money has been manifested, and it helps them mean business. It sustains them. It enables it to carry on in some way. I don't know. Okay, let's just pull a couple of cards for Justin on top of the Hermit, because he can't stay like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. He can't stay like that. Well, he can if he wants to for 5 days, but then he's got to come out. Let me see. Anything else I can pick up on Justin Trudeau? Five of Cups. No, sorry, 5 of Pentacles. Makes sense. That's the card of being left out in the cold. Why have we got the droopy? I can't say that, Metatron. Let's just say there's a droopy energy. That's what I want to say. There's a droopy energy. Ten of Wands. He's feeling this. He's feeling very under pressure. Very under pressure. I mean, look at that. It's like, where the hell is the light? Where's the light? He's feeling under pressure with this. Make no mistake about it. It's teaching him something. And we've got the Devil on the bottom of the pack. It's a wake-up call. Get the key. This is a wake-up call for him. Whatever happens as a result of this protest, however it goes down, it's a wake-up call, and it's a long-term wake-up call. How he handles this, how he behaves, has an impact going forward for him and his government. The Devil card, his hands are tied, is what I'm hearing. His hands are tied. Why have we got the Devil card? Justin Trudeau, why have we got the Devil card? I don't know, but I don't like it because it's with strength. I'm not going there. And please be considerate to others in the comments as well. With that, I suspect it's very linked into stuff that we don't see going on in our world, just lower energies. It might not even be about him. It might be about who he serves. I'm talking about, I mean, I personally believe, you know, there is a much higher government across the world, and we don't see their faces and we don't see their energies, but it isn't of love. And it may well be that he's beholden to someone or something. Somebody might have got secrets on him. It could also be linked into why there's all this heaviness around him and this awful Ten of Wands energy. You know, however he appears on TV, you know, I wouldn't particularly want to be in his shoes at the moment. Okay, let's use a different deck and let's now have a look at the truckers themselves. Let's have a look at the trucker movement. What are we asking? Let's just say, what do we need to know? The Three of Tides, 3 horses. Slight nerves going into today and into the days ahead. Those horses are putting their feet into the waters, but it's like, ooh, is it actually safe? It's all very well to start off, you know, hundreds of miles away, and then you actually arrive at the capital and you've got police with, I guess they've got guns and all the rest of it. It's like, oh, actually, you know, what we got ourselves into. But no, they're okay. The Three of Tides is a positive card. It's the Three of Cups. It's usually a card of celebration. And there's also, it's a mixture of emotions. It's sort of linked into, I am definitely picking up a little bit of like, you know, biting nails, because the new man, you know, isn't just like some big macho, stereotypical, silly comic strip character that we've invented. You know, they've got all of the emotions. They're allowed to also be a bit like, oh God, you know, is this going to be okay? But equally, strength in numbers. Strength in numbers. There's a joyous energy there as well. What else do we want to say? What would you like to say? What messages are there linked into the truckers? Ace of Fire and the Six of Wands. Ace of Fire. Lots of passion, lots of energy, lots of motivation to get this done. Six of Wands, I'm feeling as though this is an energy of, they would quite, I mean, I don't blame them. I'd quite like to get in there, get the job done, get out again, you know, go back home. I don't blame them for that. I just think it might be a slightly longer haul than that. Okay. That's what I'm picking up. And I have to say, one of the concerns is I keep picking up this card linked into this group. It's the Seven of Tides. It's the Seven of Cups in a traditional tarot. This is to do with what I've been saying. This group is made up of all sorts of people, because by its nature it will be. You know, if you go down your street, there's going to be all sorts of people that live down your street with all sorts of secrets, all sorts of motivations, all sorts of things that they do behind closed doors that you have no idea about. That is called humanity. It's called, you know, it's just humankind. We're all different. And it just feels as though there are a number of different causes and needs in this group. And the danger is that they weaken themselves, and it's almost like they don't know what they really want. So, you know, if I was advising them, I would say be very focused on just one or two things, and that's it. Don't then start to water it down by demanding other stuff or talking about other stuff or it becoming about other issues. It should just be about the one issue that maybe started all of this off in the first place. So there's a danger of it getting watered down by confusion and not knowing actually what they're going after. It could also be to do with different spokespeople within the group. You know, I do feel there's some loud mouths within the group. I also think there's some very wise people within the group. And it will be interesting what voices we get to hear in terms of mainstream media. Okay. Again, the guidance is to go back to your heart, go back to your heart, go back to your heart. Remember the Tesla thing. What creates change and walls to come tumbling down is when you hold the right vibration, and that can bring enormous change into the world, but not through division and separation and more name calling and all the rest of it. Okay, right, anything else to say? Temperance, patience, and the energy of the teacher and the energy of strength. Yeah, I just think this is a much more long haul. You know, truckers are used to long journeys and short journeys. This is a longer journey. It's not all done and dusted in one day. And I just think people have to be slightly realistic and set their expectations accordingly. Because I've seen it on my social media pages. You know, if I post up anything about this, I get it, and I'm not trying to dampen anybody's enthusiasm and excitement, because maybe we need that to know that people are standing up for freedom of choice. But equally, you know, if you set, it's a bit like going to see a film. If you hype it up too much, you then get disappointed. Whereas actually, if you just go in with neutral expectations, you get more out of it. There's still going to be good stuff that comes out of this. But I was given quite an interesting analogy the other day about all of this. So Metron was saying, and this isn't just about the truckers, this is about if you're trying to invoke change in the world, maybe you're passionate about all sorts of things. It could be about the environment, it could be about women's rights, it could be about children's rights. I don't know what it is. But if you go in with an energy of desperation, it's a bit like when you're if you're on your own and you're single and you want to meet somebody and you're desperate. You know, that energy of desperation puts any person off. They'll run a mile, okay? Because actually what attracts success to you is a much softer energy, which is linked into surrender, not surrender in terms of the white flag either, just sort of a softer energy. You know, it's not about desperation. So if you go into these sort of moments in our world, because there's going to be more than just this year. We're going to have many moments like this, with this sort of desperation that it's now or never, you know, that the government has to be pulled down, that this has to happen, that has to happen. You're actually going to make it much harder to achieve anything. Change comes in from the vibration of love, okay? The other thing as well about unity consciousness is, say you're going in with the mindset of bringing down the government. I'm not saying that is what they're doing, and I'm not saying that's what I agree with either. I'm just saying, giving this as an example. But say you're doing that. What you're negating is then the other 70, 80%, whatever percentage it is of the population that still support that government. Okay, so you can't go in with a sledgehammer. You can't go in with a bulldozer. And it's quite interesting that they are going in with these great big bloody trucks. But yet it's not really about the trucks. It's actually about the people in the trucks. And it's about the energy that they have within their heart. That's what changes it. Not 50,000 trucks or 500 trucks or however many there are in Ottawa over the next few days. It's not to do with the physical steel and wheels. It's to do with the energy that is within the people. Okay. And actually that is what he's more frightened of, okay? This tortoise energy, that's what's put him into retreat, because the power of that is something that changes worlds. It does change regimes, etc. Okay. All right. Is there anything else I want to say on this? I sort of just want it to play out. You know, there's no point sitting here trying to be some sort of soothsayer. There's a whole load of different energies and timelines that could come in, even as of today, because until the people show up, you know, I'm just reading energies as they are today. But let's just see if there's anything else that wants to come through. I'm going to use this deck now, the Lemurian, what's it called, Star Child Oracle. Anything else to say today? And the most important thing Metatron is saying is to stop seeing people as your enemies. Stop seeing this guy as your enemy. Stop seeing that person as your enemy. Stop seeing me as your enemy. All of that. It's the energy of Belfast. I'm being taken back to Belfast again. It's the peace process. It's the process of reconciliation. You have to sit down with people who have opinions that you might not like, deeds that have been done that you might not like, okay? That is how peace is forged. That is how peace is forged. So we have the energy of purity. Because it's about having that in your heart. If you hold that in your heart, unicorns have this horn, this beam of light for a reason. It leads you home. It gets you to where you need to be. But it's not from having any form of vengeance or aggression or violence or one-upmanship within you. It's just to do with standing up for basic principles. And the one that's being stood up for here is freedom of choice. Yeah, that painting behind me I've put up deliberately just for this little video, which is Jane's depiction of freedom for the new Christ Consciousness deck. And yeah, we've got the hot air balloons. Anything else to say, please? Earth and air, stabilization, physical integration and mental clearing. Earth and air. What goes with earth and air? Emergence on the bottom of the deck. Celebration. Purity, earth and air, and emergence. Just give me a minute. By nature of the deck, it's very magical, but there is something particularly magical about this card. There's something here about the energy arising from the earth and the energy coming down from above, the celestial light, the angelic help, the purity of the white light, meeting the energy of earth, which by nature is denser and heavier. And the bird of freedom flying high. The butterfly emerging. The energy of the unicorn, which is a seventh dimensional frequency, leading us home. Okay, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. And surrounding the whole situation with love and highest outcome for the best possible good for everyone involved. Take care of yourselves. Remember, don't listen to the voice of the agitators in the crowd. Look for the peacemakers. There will be far more of them than there are of those wanting to cause trouble. Be with the ones who are just sitting quietly, going into their heart, trying to manifest in a better world for their children, the rainbow children. And this card says, unstoppable, new earth builders, multi-talented, miraculous alchemy. It's all about the next generation. And do it for them. Okay. Much love. Take care. See you all soon. Have a good weekend as well, whatever you're doing. I'm going to get out into the forest later and have a nice walk. I'll enjoy that. Okay. Bye for now, guys. Bye.